Good morning. I would like to extend a welcome to our families, our friends, our distinguished guests, our veterans. I'm very humbled and honored by the opportunity to speak on behalf of Corbin Middle School as we celebrate our servicemen and women in the armed forces and honor the sacrifices made by these veterans in order for the United States of America to be recognized as the greatest nation in the world. Veterans Day actually began in 1919 as Armistice Day, making the date when Germany and the Allies signed a 1918 agreement to cease World War I hostilities. Earlier in 1919, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November the 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day, saying, "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory." So today, we gather in solemn pride and recognize our heroes who died in service to our great nation and celebrate the heroes who are present today. We stand in the midst of patriots who nobly served our country. At this time, I'd like to pause for a moment to recognize our current service members and veterans. Corbin Middle School, we are celebrating individuals who vigorously supported their country and prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. In a time when patriotism is challenged in our nation today, we gladly and wholeheartedly take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you, veterans, for your service in this country, making it the most feared and respected nation in the world. The individuals we celebrate today came from various walks of life, but they are united by several fundamental qualities: pride, determination, dedication, selflessness, character, and integrity. These attributes unite within an individual, causing him or her to pledge allegiance to a greater cause than self. Many of our veterans did not volunteer to go to war, did not ask to leave their homes for battlefields, and did not anticipate the magnitude of sacrifices. These patriots felt the call of devotion to our heartland, our country, our United States of America. The call resonated deep within their souls. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in extreme times. They answered the call, and we are grateful for their love of this great nation. On November the 11th, citizens throughout the country will gather to remember, to honor, and to pay gratitude to those who have served our country. Our gathering, albeit virtually, is a spark in the flame of pride that burns across the nation today and every day. We will always celebrate our veterans in Corbin, Kentucky, at Corbin Middle School, and fan our nation's patriotic flames. We honor those who sacrifice themselves so we can daily experience freedom. Your presence today, united with other Americans gathering all across America, is a tribute to our troops and their families. So today we remember the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winter at Valley Forge. We remember the muddy trenches of France to the hazy jungles of Vietnam. We remember the decades-long Cold War. We remember the mountains of Afghanistan to the deserts of Iraq. We remember and we honor them. So we honor you, veterans, and we are so thankful for your service. We are thankful for this land of the free, and we thank you for this home of the brave.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of
of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare amongst bursting in air gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Heather French Henry has been a local, state, and national advocate for military veterans and their families for over 20 years. She has served both Governor Beshear and Governor Bevin as the Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner of the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs, serving over 300,000 veterans in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Her role in the department provided oversight for nearly 900 employees serving in 4 state veterans nursing centers, 5 state veteran cemeteries, statewide veterans benefits, and programs that serve both homeless and female veterans. Her responsibilities included developing legislative policy for the department and assisting with the overall strategy for department's budget of nearly $100 million. Her love for the military came from her admiration for her father, Ronnie French, a disabled Marine Corps veteran of the Vietnam War. During her year of service as Miss America 2000, Heather worked in the halls of Congress, held strategic meetings with the White House, and visited veterans in hospitals, homeless shelters, and veteran service organizations across the nation. Her work with homeless veterans was honored by the late Congressman Lane Evans and the late Senator Paul Wellstone with the naming of the Heather French Henry Homeless Veterans Assistance Act. Heather is from Maysville and Augusta, Kentucky. She graduated from the University of Cincinnati College of Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning. She is married to Dr. Stephen L. Henry, former Lieutenant Governor of Kentucky. They have 2 daughters, Harper Renee and Taylor Augusta. Together, the Henrys established the Rosemary Clooney Museum in Augusta, Kentucky, featuring the famous White Christmas collection. Heather also assists with the Future Fund Land Trust in their efforts to save Floyd's Fork in Jefferson and Bullock counties. The family resides in Louisville, Kentucky. Corbin Schools, please welcome Ms. Heather Renee French Henry.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather French Henry, and I'm delighted to, sort of be with you today to talk about honoring our nation's military veterans. As a daughter of a Vietnam veteran, I grew up in a household that was directly affected by my father's military service to our country. I grew up honoring his service, our flag, and the democracy he fought for during his tour of duty in the Marine Corps. But that service and our freedoms comes with a price, and that's what I want to talk to you about today on Veterans Day, to honor the heroes who are among us. In our country, roughly 57 million men and women have served our nation and our democracy. Today, an estimated 20.4 million of those heroes are still with us. In Kentucky alone, we have approximately 290,000 veterans in our Commonwealth, and roughly 24,000 of those heroes are women veterans. With multiple military installations like Fort Campbell and Fort Knox, as well as our amazing Kentucky National Guard and our Army Reserves, Kentucky has a rich history of serving our nation. No matter what county you go to in all of our glorious 120 counties, there are still heroes who live among us. This is what led me to do the work for our veterans as Miss America and why I still work for them today. Of all the titles I've won in my history, being the daughter of a veteran is still greater. This has led me to do some amazing projects, not only working for our current veterans population, but also for honoring those from the past, like our World War I veterans. While Veterans Day is actually a nationally recognized holiday to honor those veterans who are still living, let's dive a little bit into those that came before, like our World War I veterans. Not too long ago, we commemorated the 100th anniversary of the U.S. entrance into World War I. As the chair of the Kentucky World War I Centennial Committee, which was comprised of over 27 local, state, and national organizations, it was our duty to ensure that the service and sacrifice of all of our Kentuckians was remembered, even after 100 years. Our mission throughout that commemoration was to do three things. It was to honor the service of our heroes, to make sure that we never forget, to remember their sacrifice, because remembering individual military stories is extremely important, and to educate, of course, future generations like yourselves about the price of freedom. Over 2,000 Kentuckians died during World War I, including 55 National Guard, with over 90,000 Kentuckians answering the call of duty, including 7,000 Kentucky National Guard. All 120 counties contributed to that great war. They trained from Camp Zachary Taylor in Louisville to Camp Stanley in Lexington and Fort Thomas in northern Kentucky to Camp Shelby in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In total, over 150,000 troops alone trained right here in Kentucky at Camp Zachary Taylor. It was one of only 16 camps built in all of the U.S. to train troops for World War I. But we rarely are taught about this history and Kentucky's impact on this global war, which largely goes unknown. It's super important that we remember and educate ourselves about what came before us. And although we no longer have any World War I veterans among us, it's never, ever too late to honor and remember their sacrifices and their stories. As the daughter of a disabled Vietnam veteran who lost many of his friends in battle, I am super passionate that the memory of those fallen live on. Whether it's through ceremonies just like this, speeches like what I'm giving, projects or monuments, all of these serve as a way for us to educate future generations about their stories and their sacrifice. There's not a day that goes by that our family doesn't remember lives that were given for our freedoms. Whether it's the 40 names that are on panel 32E on the Vietnam Wall, or my dad's best friend Charlie Smith, who died a few months after he was medevaced out, each life matters and each service should be remembered. I'll never forget one precious moment where I was helping my father move panel 32E while we were taking down the moving Vietnam Wall at the Kentucky Horse Park. As we carried that panel to the truck, my father said, "I finally get to bring my men home." Those men matter to my dad. They matter to me, and they should matter to all of us. Whether one day has passed or 100 years, it's never too late to honor the legacy of service to our nation. There are many ways that all of us can choose to do this. One of my favorite projects was through the Kentucky Poppy Project that allowed more than 100 schools just like yours, and some of you may in the audience may have done this, you made poppies for our World War I commemoration. Or through service to our living veterans, much like what we've done at the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs through nursing homes, or our Forever Care at our cemeteries, or our programs and services throughout the state. We also have wonderful honor flights that take World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans to Washington, D.C. to see their memorials and their monuments. We must always continue to find ways to show those around us how much we appreciate their service and sacrifice. And believe me, I know times are strange during this pandemic, and we can't really go out and shake hands in order to say thank you for your service, but we can still make a difference. I challenge each one of you to come up with unique ways to honor our veterans together. One of my current projects, which is pretty creative, is called Operation Waverly. It's taken from a character in the movie White Christmas, which stars actually one of our Kentucky legends, Rosemary Clooney. I'll be working in Greenville, South Carolina this Veterans Day time frame to gather needed items for homeless veterans and local service organizations there to help out veterans in their community. Perhaps you or your friends would like to do a project or an operation of your own where you live. Truly, the best way to honor those who are no longer with us is to serve those who are still here. One of my favorite quotes is from President John F. Kennedy. He said, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them." So I ask you today on this Veterans Day, as we honor the heroes among us, may we never forget their service and sacrifice. Thank you for listening today, and perhaps I'll get a chance to hear from some of you on what maybe we could do together to say thank you to those who have served. To those who may be in attendance who have served our great nation, thank you for your service and sacrifice. Your story matters, and may you never be forgotten in the community with which you live. We appreciate everything that you've done to preserve the democracy we enjoy today. Thank you.
At CMS, we are proud to honor all veterans who have served our country, but we have a special place in our hearts for the veterans who are part of our school community here. Please join us in viewing this presentation of veterans, who include family members of our students and staff. We are grateful for their sacrifices and service.
Thank you.